Sure. Yep. Okay. Everything's such a pain in the ass. Such a pain in the ass. Oh, this fucking podcast is a pain in the ass. I'm telling you. I try to do the bare minimum on this podcast, you know what I mean? Like, I just keep it simple. And I work in this program. It costs a little bit of money, but what it does is it delivers the RSS feed address. And when I publish an episode on this sort of cloud site, it beams out to YouTube, Spotify, and Apple. That's it. But the company decided to sort of rebrand itself, and they changed all the addresses. And then I go to sort of update my YouTube, and now they want that's an advanced feature using RSS feed. Oh my God, how advanced. Jesus. So they want, a 30-second video or an ID or, some proof that I've been a good little boy for 2 months. And, I'm conflicted about giving Google my identification that, they're fucking sharing it with all these fucking overseas third-party data harvest fuck faces, right? So, anyway, I went ahead and submitted it for, the benefit of my 2 listeners. But it's, you're always encountering these compromises. It's like, what are you going to hold sacred? What are you going to draw a nice firm line in the sand about? What are you going to go to the mat for? I go to the mat for some stuff. Oh, like light. I went and purchased myself an incandescent bulb today. Oh my God, here we go. I'm going to turn it on. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. They outlawed incandescent bulbs in California. And so I know of a place that sells them, not cheap. And it's kind of a workaround. I'm not going to tell you the place because then it's going to go into some fucking AI hive mind and, some robotic synthetic soldiers going to walk in and fucking confiscate them all or whatever. But I'm sure they can do their due diligence, double check all my records, look at the receipts. Misha Klein. Humanoid unit 57672 Wayne 3. Google has just recently uploaded his identification to Google. Here we go. Look at this. Because now AI talks all casually. Look at this fucking nut. Thinking he can fucking purchase incandescent bulbs in California right off the street. Anyway, feels kind of fun and punk rock to have a full spectrum bulb, incandescent bulb in my house these days. Isn't it crazy? It's not even smart. Maybe it's smart. Maybe that's why I get it, because it has a little, I don't know, fucking beam some juicy shit into my 7G brain right now. Okay, all right. Okay. Let's yank it together, people. Yeah, God, I had a really wonderful conversation with an old friend of mine. That was cool. Oh my God, we just chit-chatted about art. Kim Slate, old pal. Oh my God, I haven't worked with Kim since Coraline days. But Kim is just such a ruthlessly dope human. Anybody that knows Kim Slate knows how talented she is, how nice she is, and how multi-talented. I mean, God, she's a full-on athlete. She runs these giant, they're not even marathon's like a short run to Kim. Kim runs, I don't know, hundreds of miles or something, like all day and all night kind of run at a good pace. When she does the 26-mile marathon, she has to hustle. She has to almost sprint. She has to run fast. But we were talking about just that necessity for parents and just adults, adults of a certain age. If you don't have an activity where you're alone, like I'm doing right now, pacing around in my house, alone, just for a little while, just alone in your own head, in your own thoughts. We kind of bonded over the fact that we're both super into meditation. And you take a moment and have some time. Some time with your own thoughts, your own mind, your own breath, your own lack of thoughts. Sometimes it's just clear the slate. Get in touch with the meat sack, whatever, the humanoid you, without a lot of expectation and overlay. But yeah, we were chit-chatting about books, and podcasts and movies, and we exchanged some fun David Lynch stories, and but I find her an extremely inspirational human. I think all parents kind of know the pain and joy of sort of life, and what a difficult job it is being a parent. It's an extra layer of work that a lot of people don't really think of, Why would you? But, being an artist and being a parent at the same time, you gotta really want to do your art. you gotta really, really want to do and express something if you're a parent, because your free time, a lot of artists are just doing art because they got a lot of free time and they're like, I'll do this for a little while and then I'll go watch a movie or whatever. But if you're shuttling a kid to and from school and making extra meals and going to the store and doing homework and Saturdays are all about karate in my house. Going on walks, going to museums, culturing, kind of curating a little mind. It takes some time and effort, and I want to be that present, engaged dad. I drop whatever I'm doing if Gus needs something from me. So it's what I signed up for. It's how I'm gonna roll. That's how I do it. I wouldn't want to do it any other way, but at the same time, for me to write stuff, pitch projects, direct things, you gotta find that high gear. For me, it's like 3 a.m. on the couch writing on my phone. Anyway, we were kind of commiserating, I guess, about that lovely component. But Kim makes these really, really exquisite maquettes, these sculptures, these beautiful characters. Anybody that knows Kim knows her work. She's a fantastic illustrator, but she's also just this really gifted sculptor and painter. And her characters are so unique. They're such one-of-a-kind things. You just don't see anyone else doing what she does. She's got her own approach and style, and she's definitely moved by a very interesting kind of muse within her. And she is prolific. She does these one-person group, whatever shows. She just is always showing her work. And so, it takes a lot of drive, to train for these big marathon-style runs, and then also be a full-on independent artist making your own unique stuff. It's not like, she has to do that. She has to take her kid to school and pick her kid up and, shop and do laundry and clean the house and, all the shit that you do. But she doesn't have to also be a full-on fine artist on the side. But that's Kim. She rocks it. What else is going on? Holy smokes. Yeah, it's been a good month since I've posted anything on here. I'd miss podcasting, honestly. I enjoy... So fucking dumb doing this shit. It feels so dumb. I really don't have anything much to say. I just did another round of sort of pitching with a personal project, and it was well received. It seems like well received. I've actually showed it to a couple friends and gotten some good feedback, but I just turned it in to this one executive who received it, but I haven't heard anything back. But it's cool, it's fun to, I'm building a universe. A big, gigantic universe. A multi-season idea that's built around really engaging characters, that have a spine, they have a spirituality to them. And they have this purpose and destiny and this backstory and this relationship to other really well thought out, engaging characters. It's been quite a journey. It's been almost a 2.5-3 year journey of developing this one specific idea. And it's a hyper specific pitch to a very hyper-specific executive at a very specific network, and it can't really go anywhere else. It's funneling to this focused place. And so me and my co-writer were like, what are we going to do with this if they don't want it? And we started thinking about like the fan art we could make from it, or what, it's been a really, really useful exercise in developing stories and ideas and characters. And it's been this really incredible creative journey with my friend, who she and I are, I've never co-written anything. I've just written by myself stuff. Actually, no, I take that back. I did co-write a treatment with a couple friends once. But it's kind of new territory for me to be on this sort of long creative journey with another artist. She really wasn't a writer. My buddy Kristen, she was not a writer per se, but she is a deep thinker, and she's a creative mind, and she was the one that introduced me to Vipassana style meditation. So she's very connected to deep spiritual thinking, and she has been just so influential to the way I kind of have evolved. My kind of, current mental state is very hinged upon this decision to kind of get involved with meditation and get sober and yada yada. And so I started writing this thing, and I kind of needed to ping it off somebody that I respected as far as, where these characters were going on this arc. And I showed it to her. I showed it to Kristen. This is, 2 years ago. And she was super into it and gave me some great, great feedback, which is rare. So daunting. When you write 30, 40 pages and you're like, hey, I got this thing. People are like, great. You fucking weirdo. I don't want to be mean, but I don't have time to read 30 or 40 pages, okay, asshole? If I did, I would be making a dent in the novel that's sitting next to my bed. But I get a page in and I fall asleep, fuckface. I'm not fucking... Anyway, she read it, and she was engaged, and she gave some really great feedback. And I said, well, it's funny. I'm looking for a partner to kind of go on this journey with. And I threw it out to a couple friends, actually. And she bit the chum. She was like, yeah, I'll try that. She was in a transitional place in her life. She was, as all, kind of adults oftentimes find themselves, was kind of living out of a bag, taking care of her mom. And between sort of big life and career things, and she was like, you know what, a project like this kind of sounds fun. And so it was great timing, and here we are, and it's been really cool to, set your sights on a certain goal, and then you achieve that, and then you turn it in and you feel accomplished. And but there's always more, because it's like you're developing this giant Rubik's Cube machine, that all the facets sort of can rotate and need to sort of fit next to one another and feel. I was listening to a podcast, this writer-director was talking about his work, and he was like, when you get to the ending of a movie, it's got to feel two things. It's got to feel inevitable, but it also has to feel like a surprise. And you want to surprise the audience with the ending, but then when they really sort of chew on it for a minute, they got to go, oh, God, it had to end like this. There's no other way. And when you're creating the architecture of something, there has to be sort of this fate or destiny kind of has to play a part. And things have to fall together. When things start to fall together, and Kim and I were talking about this, she was like talking about, God, I wish I knew when I was younger what so many of these wonderful artists that I pay attention to now have been saying for a while, which is like, we're antenna. We are live wire antennae. that I hate using this word, but for lack of a better word, we're channeling ideas from the ether. From source. I like to say it more like that. We're connected to our larger self. And our small self here is having this creative epiphany because we're getting a download. From the wise, eternal motherboard, that sort of feels like it's way outside of me. And I feel like you see, when there's a trend in the pop culture, the zeitgeist, whatever, it's like zombie movies, whatever. People are seriously kind of downloading the same shit. Weird, like Frankenstein's all big right now, and The Bride, and Game of Thrones, and medieval sword dragons, blah blah blah. It comes in waves. These the universe has something it needs to impart, and so we get a tidal wave of juicy ideas that are streaming in, right? And you're catching them in your net, and they're sparkling. They're like these flippity floppity little creative fish that are like, this cornucopia of this basket, this, gift, this glimmering gift is, just coming at us, and we have to be open and willing to receive it. We gotta clean off our antennae and get a nice, a nice golden current, because it's a grid. It's, we're connected to this larger electrical living grid, that's constantly trying to be, the artificial version of it is always trying to outfit itself. You splice in, and give us these false downloads. Don't you? I don't know if you guys get that. It's just like, oh man, just all of this other shit is vying for a fucking, a little bit of frequency on your dial. It's vying for a channel, its own channel. It wants its own, big, robust, juicy channel. And you give it you give it enough. Jesus Christ. Do I give it enough? I'm just, how many times, in the middle of a creative project, you start fucking Instagramming, and just blow your whatever energy you might have at 2 a.m. on some doom scrolling. God, that fucking kills me too. And you wake up feeling like an addict, like you feel hungover, and you feel empty. Like, great, I had to look at monster truck videos for an hour. What was I fucking thinking? You're like, oh, but everybody was so happy. All the people in the front row were jumping up and down, and all those girls with the painted on denim were just, so happy about the big old monster trucks. It's a bad example. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Yeah. I'm not into monster trucks. I don't know why I even said that. I actually went to a monster truck rally once. Some friend, I think actually Liz, my wife, probably convinced me to go. I don't. We got tickets or somebody was like, dude, I'm going. You guys should go. And we went. We went just to kind of peep it out. And it was the people watching was fantastic. Holy shit. It reminded me of like I don't know, just a slice of humanity that I wasn't privy to, really. Wasn't on my radar. But I'm into silly shit. I mean, I do. As a kid, I went to all these like BMX shows, like flatland shows and ramp events. And, they were kind of poorly organized. And it kind of struck me as like similar to that. It's like monster truck rally. Somebody emceeing on the fucking mic. Stupid music, lights, some big venue somewhere. Everybody's showing off. Look at that fucking, whatever it is. 4 on the floor with a freaking 8 V8, engines just popping out of the fucking, what am I talking about? But you can fetishize whatever. I've been into cardboard lately, and I look around and I'm like, oh my god, look at that. That cardboard. Look at that cardboard. It's so skinny. I'm like, look at the how detailed the undulating kind of middle section of that. Oh, look at that stuff. Look how meaty that cardboard is. My god, it's like, poof. Think of all the shit you could make with that. That's a nice piece of cardboard, but it has all that print on it. What if it was just plain brown recycled? Why do they gotta put all that shit on it? Yeah, I know, but then you gotta paint it, strip it. Oh, dude, check this cardboard out. It's like kind of middle grade, used, wrinkled shit. It's all punctured. Gorgeous. Cardboard models, kit batching. Who's into models out there? You guys ever fucking go into a model shop or a model, like a hobby store? I'm pacing. I got coffee. I don't know what I'm talking about. I gotta go. Welcome back, Mish on the Move.